Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining today for the reactor event. I have myself and Dhanidharan along with me as a co-presenter, and we'll be talking through on building your agents and extending the agent with the Copilot Studio. Um, Let me share my screen, and please let me know if you have any issues in this one. Just a moment, sorry. Okay, sorry, I'll just share again with the audio. I missed that one. Alrighty. And hope you can see my screen. So, so if you have been following the AI skills first, you might be seeing that like there's lots of going on the AI space, and we got the AI skills first 50 days challenging. And if you're not part of it, I strongly encourage that you scan and then we be part of it, which we'll share the details shortly after at the end of the session. So without further ado, again, myself, Jeevarajan Kumar, I'm working as a solution architect. I'm based out of Auckland, and I work for Belrada, who is a partner based out of Sydney and Brisbane and Perth, and pretty much, also in the ANZ, overall ANZ region. And we do have a spare office in UK and Australia and US as well. So, Dharani, over to you. Okay, I think we lost Dharani.
Yeah,
There you
can
go.
you hear me, Jeevana?
Yeah, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
thanks for
yeah,
the warm
thanks for the warm
introduction. I'm getting my audio again to myself. Now, can you hear me? All good?
Yeah, all good from my side. I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So, myself, Dharani Dharan Balasubramaniam, people call me Dharani, and I am there in the dynamic space for like almost like 11 years. Yeah, I'm working as the engineering manager with one of the Australia's the leading bank, and then on the Power Platform side. And I do have like extensive knowledge on the Dynamics 365 and the Power Platform. Today, like I'll be there along with the Jiva to help you guys to learn and how you can customize the Copilot Studio. So yeah, stay tuned for our session. And if you guys have any queries or any concerns, like please feel free to get in touch with me through our social media handle. We are always like happy and glad to help you guys. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Dharani. And I'll just proceed with the session content today. And the agenda for today's session is going to be like, you must have been heard a lot about the agents and co-pilots in recent times. And pretty much for today, also, we're going to talk something around the Copilot Studio. And if you are new to the Copilot Studio and if you are new to building agents, this is the appropriate session or the right session for you. So we here will showcase on the introduction and basics about the Microsoft Copilot Studio and how you can start building your very first studio and how you can extend the agents as well. Sorry, build the very first agent and extend the agents as well, which we will see shortly. There is a surprise. I think I already revealed it, which is if you have the QR code, feel free to. I'll share the QR code that you can scan and then be part of the AI Skill Fest Challenge. Yeah. So the very first thing we want to see is a quick overview on the Copilot Studio. So Copilot Studio, as you can see, is an integral part of the Microsoft Copilot stack, which gives us a low-code way to create an intelligent agents. And it's part of the overall Power Platform space suite. Suite, of course, if you are from Power Platform, you know what it is. If not, it's basically a low-code tool spanning across Azure, Microsoft Dynamics 365, and Microsoft 365 that gives you a holistic set of tools to build business solutions. Just a quick intro about each tools. Power Apps for mobile and desktop is for the application development, and Power BI is for business analytics and reporting, and Power Automate for cloud and desktop process application, and Power Pages is to build an enterprise-grade websites, and of course, Copilot Studio, who is our hero today, is to build the agents. And all of these tools work together, and they seamlessly give you a complex set of tools to build an enterprise applications, and a platform that's highly extensible and scalable. Offering multiple data connectors with over 1,400 data connectors, out of the box connectors, which will help you to connect to the external softwares and tools, and within the Microsoft stack as well. So now, the ultimate question on everyone's mind is how, as a business, we're going to use AI to transform and drive the business impact, right? So how we can leverage the AI to drive the real return on investment. So that's the ultimate question, and let's see how we can achieve that with the certain tools we have in the Microsoft today. So first thing, like if you are using Windows product for a while, you might be seeing Copilot already in your Windows machine and also in Microsoft 365 applications. So what is Copilot, and what's the difference between Copilot and agents? So ultimately, Copilot is all about helping with personal productivity. So we believe at Microsoft, that every employee will have a Copilot, and it is your personal assistant, right? It's like a one-to-one relationship with every employee and every Copilot. And we also believe the other half of this magic is really within the agents. So we believe agents are all about addressing the business processes. So wherever we want can automate the business processes, an agent will be designed and built and handed over to handle the business processes. So ultimately, every single organization will have business processes from the simplest to the most advanced, and it might be a simple like helping you with some paperwork, it might be advanced as dealing with customer support. But the important thing is that AI will transform those business processes over the time. And you will have a Copilot, and you will have many agents. These are the expert systems. This is the future, right? And they will work on behalf of the teams and organizations. And ultimately, they will be connected to Copilot in the form of the Copilot UI. It's as an AI. So Copilot will be it's already starting acting as an UI for the AI, where the uh, the the most powerful programming language at this point of time is English, and you will start asking natural language, which means you will start typing and building agents with the natural language, which you'll see as well. That's pretty exciting stuff. And to get into dive into details about the agents, recently Microsoft also announced a number of pre-built agents that are going to be built by Microsoft. So these are starter agents that comes as a pack, but then we can build our own agents, right? So for example, an employee's self-service agent with the Microsoft Copilot, Microsoft 365, and things like SharePoint agents that are now generally available, that you can go and create an agent immediately from the SharePoint site. And we also, Microsoft also recently announced that there are Dynamics 365 specific pre-built agents that, we can open in Copilot Studio and customize further if you want. And there are some built by third parties such as Adobe, ServiceNow, and SAP. These are all that say we believe that there will be a large ecosystem of agents going forward. This pool of agents is going to grow massively in terms of the pre-built agents. But again, doesn't mean that we are stuck with the pre-built agents. We can extend and like based on the business scenario, and potentially we should extend based on the business scenario. Sorry about that. So that's all on the agent side of it, and this is what I was just talking now. So pretty much, we think that all the feature is pretty much, conversational. There was a Gartner report, last 3 years, where a third of the work experiences will be conversationally enabled, which means by agents. This is going to shape the way we do things now and improve the processes across almost all the industries. So a conversation AI is helping software developers like coding 55% faster, and also it's helping customer service to resolve 14% of issues, more issues per hour, and knowledge workers complete tasks 37% quicker, just to name a few of them, right? It's just a few industries that we have handpicked, but it is the application across the industries are massive in this space. So if we step into actually how today we build the agents, and then just get a taste of what it is to building an agent and how we can utilize them. So let's dive into details right now. So step one is how we build an agent now. So the path to build an agent in Copilot Studio is very simple, right? As you'll see in the demos that we're gonna show shortly, you can create an agent in a matter of minutes, a simple agent. Of course, where the agent complexity increases, you need to spend more time. But I wouldn't say a technical skill set would be any limitation to do that. So you have a complete control in the design of the conversation with the ability to connect to the agent to your knowledge sources and generate for generative answers, create rule-based topics, and even extend and integrate with customer data connectors and Azure AI Foundry for like custom connectors if you want to build. And once you have configured your agent, you are ready to publish, and you have several choices in where you can publish the agent. You can publish it to Teams, you can publish it to apps, you can publish it to the social media channels, and even within the other Power Platform solutions like Power Apps and Power Pages. And also, you can use the agent. You have tools to for the tools to monitor, manage, and improve various security and controls. Yeah. So that's what we just saw. You can create an agent, and then you design you build the agent by as a conversation, and then you can publish it to different channels, and then you can always manage and improve it. And the next thing I want to show is and when it comes to building an agent, you have multiple options, right? The coolest thing about it is that you can use the pre-built agent, as I was just talking earlier. There are a set of pre-built agents that Microsoft has built as part of the products that we have, but that doesn't mean that that's the uh, final set of agents we have. We can always build our own. So when we go into building our own, um, we can build it with natural language. So it's interesting. It's been said that the most powerful language going forward, coding language, is going to be English, plain English, because if you are good in that, you can start building things on your own. So so which means you can describe with what you want your agent to do, and all agent can do the agent can do all the heavy lifting for you, right? So by asking more series of follow-up question, testing it, again asking more question, feeding in more information, test it and refine it. That's the way to do. And that's the pretty much a whole set of refreshed user experience in terms of visually building a tool and building an agent and customizing the agent. And if you ever find yourself needing to look at the code, wanting to make quick change, there is a side-by-side view where you can visually see how the backend YAML will look like. And that's really helpful for making quick changes, even sharing snippets of code. And you can even share those YAML snippets from your Copilot Studio agents into your Power Platform snippets repo, so that you can make it as make sure that it's all captured in the source code repository. So with that, we'll start our first step in building the agent. So let me bring up the agent. Alrighty. So when you log into the Copilot studio.microsoft.com, the first thing you're going to see in the home page is like you can see that there will be a set of pre-built agents, I would say. And as part of the pre-built agents, just a moment, sorry. As part of the pre-built agent, you have agents like safe travels, leave management, financial insights, store operations, wellness check, those kind of things. And you can always extend this agent, or you can also add more agent, right? So what I did is I just extend the agent and save it as a safe travels one. I just bring that up. So what I have done is if you can see the agent as the name, I can go and create more name. sorry, edit the name, whatever I want. Let's say reactor demo travels, and I can change the icon if I want, and I can give the description for the agent, and I can add more knowledge sources as well. So right now it's all looking for the US travel. So which means if I want to test it, I can go ahead and test. Okay, what is the policy visa policy for the business visa uh, USA business visa. So that's going to pretty much like look through the public website and that we added, and then that's going to bring up information from that. So you can see basically it gives you, okay, for US we have visitor B visa and so information. And if you are interested to know more about it, it gives you references. So if you click on that, it will take you to the respective URL, based on the knowledge source that we provided. So now let's say if you want to enhance the knowledge sources to add more knowledge source, we can add that as well. Just a moment. So what I'm going to do is just go back to overview and go to the knowledge source. Behind the scene, this is how that works, but Dharani will show you. I don't want to steal the show. So what I'll do is I'll go to the add knowledge, and what I'll do is for the um, I'll just take immigration government.au, which is Australian visa, right? So I just go and add this one here. And let me just add public source, knowledge source, and I can give a name and description as I want. So I'll just give it as a AU travel, and just I'll confirm that. So that should get what I'm trying to make here is I'm adding more data sources for the agent to fetch and refer. So now once this is added, the agent will be smart enough to go and fetch details from the Australian immigration as well for asking any of our Australian immigration related questions. So if we just go and publish this one, well, I can test it first if you before we publish. So I'll just go and say what is the tourist visa policy for Australia. So it pretty much gets you all the Australian related ones since we already asked for the US. So it assumes that we have also your passport, but you can ask more question and then get more details as you see. And if we are happy with the agent's response, we can go ahead and publish the agent, or we can further test and tune it and then do it. And I want to show something as well. So we just go back to settings. Sorry, let's not deviate for now. Let me just go back and finish the PowerPoint and then come back here. Just go to overview again. So what I'm going to do is I am happy with the agent so far. I have two data sources, and I'll just go ahead and then publish it. And what it does, it will just publish all the content to the agent. And if there's any other locations where you hosted an agent, it will publish the agent so that wherever the agent is hosted, they will be getting the updates as well. So that's on the. It is going to take a while. So meanwhile, I'll just go back to the PowerPoint, and let's continue with the next set of data so that we can come back to that and enhance it further. This is what we just saw. So we saw how we can just build a extend the agent that is available as part of the template, and we just saw briefly looked how we can add a knowledge. We just added a knowledge source from Australian visa public website into the agent. And then, but see, knowledge is one of the most important things that we are configured when we're building out our agent. It's connecting to knowledge source that gives the Copilot the power to answer questions and instantly over your data. And you can stay connected to a variety of data sources, not just public website for information. This can be internal SharePoint sites, OneDrive, and files like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, PDF, CSV, JSON, and many more, right? You can even manually upload files to an agent, and we can extend the knowledge available as well by connecting backend services with custom connectors and integrating them with the AI Foundry, Azure AI Foundry. And with all these knowledge sources, permissions are respected to make sure the internal permissions and security roles applies, and to make sure that your data remains secure within your organization as well. So next thing, we'll just again quickly see a demo. Back to the demo. Alrighty, so we are back to demo. So next we'll see how we can just create an agent from the scratch instead of just leveraging the pre-built one. Let's go back to the home. So remember from the PowerPoint, we showed how we can, there are different ways you can build the agent. And this is the second one, which is creating a agent from your plain, conversational language, which is your English or any language that you're comfortable with. So I'm just gonna copy this where I have this copied somewhere. So I'm asking basically create an agent to help and answer about troubleshooting problems with the Microsoft products. Once I enter that, agent is gonna try, asking more question, and then we will get more information, and then we just, keep doing things. So the moment I do that, Microsoft, the Copilot is going to, it's smart enough to understand my question, and then it's just trying to rename what I want. So I'm just saying like, yes, Microsoft Support Assistant, yes, that. So it's me. So it's just going to create an agent with the name um, Microsoft Support Assistant, and it's asking what it needs to do, questions, as such. So I also mentioned that do not talk anything about non-Microsoft products. So I'm just restricting it, further fine-tuning it to making sure not to respond to any of the products that are not Microsoft, because it's a Microsoft Support Assistant. So that will pretty much do that. And also, I'm just gonna enter more. I'm just gonna guide what is the tone that it needs to follow. As you can see, it says what are there any specific guidelines as an agent it needs to be followed. And I'm just gonna say, all right, use a professional and friendly tone for troubleshooting requests, reply in bullet points so that it's easy for the end users to get the answers and then proceed further. And what we'll do is, yeah, it now sets the scene. Now it's asking if there's any other public available information that I can feed in so that it uses them when answering. So I have 3 links bookmarked here. I'm just going to copy them as well. So I'm asking to use Microsoft.com, Microsoft Learn.microsoft.com, and also developer.microsoft.com. So that will feed into the Copilot as well. So now you can see it gets knowledge. I'm just going to confirm them. And then I'm just going to, do you have any more modifications to make the support user? So just tick all these 3 box, and then I think I'm pretty much good with this one. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead, and then if I want, I can also choose the solution where I want to deploy this agent into. So these are the default solution, and I have 2 more custom solution. If you want my agent to be deployed in one of the custom solution, I can just deploy that as well. For now, I think I just leave it to the default solution, and then I'll just click create. And what it will do is it will set up the agent under the solution that I chose to create, and then that will create an agent. Since there was already an agent with the name Microsoft Support Assistant, it just picked Microsoft Support Assistant 1, which is all good. And now we got the agent in here, and we can also add knowledge repository as our internal SharePoint, or and then it can start using it. Let me just, I don't have any files in the SharePoint at this point of time in this environment. Just a moment. But basically what I'm trying to say here is, in addition to the public URL, you can also bring the knowledge combination of the public URL and your organization URL. So if I go to SharePoint, it basically, I can just enter the SharePoint site. If I have an information about my organization in the SharePoint site, that should be able to bring the information from the SharePoint site. Or if I have a document in the OneDrive, I can basically bring the knowledge from the OneDrive documentation as well, and then I can feed it, or from Dataverse as well if I have. So I just skip that part, but basically you just get all these things feed in, and then now you can basically ask the agent what it is. I can just test the agent. I can then publish the agent. So I'm just going to copy the question that I want to test with this agent. So I just say, hey, what are the autonomous agents? It's going to basically run that against the knowledge sources I fed in. So far, I just fed in only the public website. But if I want to add my internal SharePoint repository, all those things, it will pretty much read it from them as well. And as you can see, it says, okay, autonomous agents are advanced AI systems and so on, so information. You'll have the URL from the public. If it is from the SharePoint or the internal repository, it will have a reference point to that as well. And then okay, so for example, let's ask one more question. I get a dedication error in building a Power App. So how do I resolve this? So now it says that what are the resolution I can provide for the delegation issue for the Power Apps. You can see, I understand the delegation and data source, all those things. And let's try asking a non-Microsoft question, right? Hey, can you please tell me about PlayStation 4? So we have instructed this agent to not to retrieve any information from the outside of Microsoft. So let's see what it did. So it says, uh, so yeah, it should basically say something different. Saying that you can see it can't answer. Number one. Number two is no, it will sometimes I need to just configure more. What it will do is it will tell you, yeah, I'm specialized with Microsoft products. I'm not specialized with non-Microsoft product. If you need more assistance, then something else I can help with. That's what it did, but I didn't exactly say what I wanted to say. But you can tweak it and then refine it to get what exactly you want to do. If I go back to the PowerPoints again, next thing is on the logic. I'll let Dharani to take it from here. Over to Dharani. I'll stop sharing.
Can you hear me, Jiva? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, all good. Let me share my screen. So once you're able to see my screen, let me know, Jiva.
Sure.
I'm sharing my screen now.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay,
I
all
can.
good.
I'm seeing your presentation, presenter screen, Dharani.
Okay, 1 second. Now, can you see my screen, Jiva?
Hang on.
Hang
Yes, I
on.
can see it. Perfect. Perfect.
Okay, all good. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Jiva. That was a great walkthrough of like how easily we can create the conversational experience powered by the knowledge from the various external systems. So that was really a good one. Actually, it was a fantastic walkthrough. And before getting into the topic, once again, like those of you like who have not met me yet, I'm myself Tarani. I'm Microsoft MVP and the solution architect, and I have been working closely with the Dynamics 365 CE and the Power Platform for years. And one of the things I have always looked forward to is seeing how AI can enhance the real world business workflows. So far, like we have seen how to build the conversational experience that can respond to questions based on the data. Now, let's shift gears a bit and we'll see what if your agent did not just answer only to your questions, but also it can actually do something meaningful than answering your questions, like submit a request or updating a record or sending out a notification. So those kind of actions, we'll see like how we can build the logics in using the Copilot. Yeah, now talk about the logic. Logic is the brain of our Copilot. So in the Copilot Studio, so the logic is defined as a topics, and we do have the actions, and then we do have the custom conditions. So this is where you can move your. This is where you can move beyond simple question and answer style bots and truly start building the interactive and the intelligent agents that can handle the complex scenarios. Like you can customize the conversation flow with the if else condition. Also, you can add memory and variables to hold the user inputs. Also, like you can connect to some of the real time systems using the Power Automate flows plugins are there, and then you can leverage the HTTP connections. So all those capabilities are available, and also like you can pass the context between the topics to handle the branching logic. So that is also like one of the thing which you can do it. And the best part is all of this can be done visually using the low code interface or programmatically, like if you prefer. So all those capabilities are available with the help of this logic. Now let's talk about the user interface of your agent. So one of the out of box agents run in web chat and teams and other supported channels, but you can also fully customize how they look and behave by using a custom chat canvas. So with this, it will allow you to embed the agents in your own web applications. You can brand it to match your company's UI or UX, and also you can control how it behaves across the multiple pages using their shared iframe. And Microsoft even they provides a sample starter toolkit to help you to get going through this quickly. Like you can find this on the link which is displayed in the presentation. I will also share this link in the chat window so you can like go through this. So where they have the Microsoft has given a good amount of samples like how you can have the custom canvas for your agents. Once your agent is built, now where does it go actually? So it need to go to some of the channel, right? So Copilot supports multi-channel deployment, which means your agent can be embedded in Microsoft Teams, or it can be added to your website via Power Pages, and also it can be published to third-party channels like Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp and many more. Like you can like publish it in multiple places. Even you can integrate this into our mobile apps and the internal line of your business portals, like wherever, like based on your needs, you can go and publish and deploy your channels of a choice with a single click. This ensures the user gets the same support, like they will get the standard support, the same support where they work actually, not just in an isolated system. So the same agent can be shipped across the multiple places. So wherever like you ask the questions or wherever if you want your agents to perform the job, it will perform in a similar way, like how it is working in a one single place. Now, when it comes to extending your agents, you have access to variety of first and the third party services through the actions. So with the Copilot Studio, we have access to the Power Platform connector model, meaning we can consume and connect to over like 1400 first party and the third party services automatically through the actions which is available. Connectors, if you can ask me like what is connector. This is the first time I'm hearing the connector. The connectors are nothing but it's a wrapper. It is around an API, and we can surface up those connectors, and you can use them within the Copilot Studio via actions. So this gives you the ability to chat over the data, and also it will give you the ability to perform some of the certain actions. And if you're not able to leverage anything out of this 1400 first and the third party connectors, which is already available inside the platform, still you can go ahead and leverage the custom connector. What is custom connector? Like if you're not able to achieve any functionality through the first and the third party connectors, then the custom connector is the one which you can build it, and you can bring the custom connector inside here and you can start leveraging those custom connectors. Okay. So you can ask me like when you can create the custom connector. For example, if you have like any third party system and that is not available as a connector inside this Copilot Studio as action, then in this case, if that third party system is having an API, then you can go ahead and have the Swagger file of those API. With the Swagger file, you can create the custom connector and you can bring the custom connector here. And also like you can leverage the Power Automate, you can perform the further workflow automation and you can have it interact with your agent. So that is also possible. And you can also leverage the AI prompts. That's also one of the action which is available. So it provides the custom interaction to the GPT model using the AI builder. The default is the GPT, the 4.0 mini model, which is available. So you can select your own version and then you can start using the prompts as one of the action. Yeah. And next we have a skills. You can add a bot built in Azure bot framework as a skill, and so that's also like one way of doing it. And recently, like if you have seen the Microsoft the build, so Microsoft also announced this Microsoft 365 agents SDK, which is an evaluation of the Azure bot framework. And this is one of the key assert in the Copilot Studio client, if you ask me, which will provide the clients to access the various external agents, and it also giving us the capability, then the services to communicate with the Copilot Studio created and the hosted agents. So that's one of the good things which is there. Now, like so far, we have seen like logic, then the triggers, the canvas app, the canvas, like how you can have the canvas, the custom canvas in the chats and then actions. Let's quickly see the quick demo. Now I will walk through the demo, like how you can create a topic and extend it with the actions. So in the interest of time, just I'm playing the pre-recorded video so that it would save some time to go through like a good amount of topics. So let me stop the screen share and then present it once again. Switching the screen. Yeah, all good. Now just play this video.
Only how we can create our own custom topic, but how we can add an action and use that within a topic to extend our Copilot. We'll go back to the same Copilot that we've been working on and add an action here. Before we can work with actions, we need to make sure a setting is applied. So we'll go to our settings menu and click on the Generative AI tab. And just make sure that this generative radio button is checked so that I can use AI to get the best combination of actions, topics, and knowledge. For this particular scenario, we're going to be using a connector action. To build this out, we're going to define our own custom topic so that we can control when this topic gets initiated, what action it calls, and what it does afterwards. We'll click on the Topics tab in our Copilot, select Add Topic, and choose the From Blank option. Note though that you can also create a topic from a description. So you can use the power of generative AI here to put in a prompt similar to what we did in the previous demo for creating this Copilot, and it can create a whole entire topic for you. It even provides some examples to get started. But we're going to do this the manual way. So we'll go back to Add Topic and choose From Blank. And now the first thing that we need to do here is name our topic. So in the left-hand corner here, you see it says Untitled. We'll give this a name. So I'm going to call this Devices. And now we're given this trigger. This is what's going to tell Copilot when it should execute this topic. And for it to know when it should trigger the topic, we have to put in a description of what this does. So in this text box, I'm going to put in a simple description that this helps users find devices that are available from our SharePoint device management list. They can ask to see available devices, and it will return a list of devices that are available, which can include laptops, smartphones, accessories, and more. So what we're trying to do is, back on this same IT SharePoint site that we're using as a knowledge source, is to be able to dynamically get content from this device list based off of what our users are looking for to see what specific supported devices we have in stock for them to use. Now that we've told it how to execute this particular topic, we can start building things out. This is where we can start using actions to call the SharePoint connector. We'll click on this plus button below our trigger, and this dialog box will pop open. There's several options here, so we can send messages, we can ask questions, we can even ask with adaptive cards, have conditions and variables, in topic management, and all of these advanced settings. But the one we want is to call an action. This is where we'll see all of those different action types that we just talked about. So we can choose this create a flow option if we wanted to call something in Power Automate, have it perform a series of tasks, and then return data back to our Copilot. We could call a prompt, which we talked about earlier as well, using AI Builder prompts, or we can leverage those built-in connectors. So we can click on this connector tab and see all of the connectors that we have access to. I can do a search for SharePoint Get Items here. And these are all the individual actions in the SharePoint connector. So I can click on this Get Items action. It'll pop open a dialog to have me choose a connection for this connector. So I need to pass in credentials to this particular connector here and click Submit. Now this connector action is available for us to use, and we just have to do some configuration. First, we need to pass in the required inputs. So I'm going to select the site address for where our information is stored. So that's on our IT site. Then we need to choose the name of the list. So I'll choose this dropdown and we'll select our devices list. And these other inputs are optional. We filled out all the required inputs here. We could limit entries to a folder, choose whether to do nested items, and then we have some advanced options as well, which we'll come back to in a little bit. Things like being able to change the order of how the data is returned, limit by a certain number of items, and do a filter query. Now, when you call an action, it needs to put the output of that call somewhere. So it's going to store that in a variable. So that's what this output section is saying. So it's going to store some tabular data in a variable that we need to define here. So we can choose select a variable and create a new variable to store this information so we can reference it later on. And when you create these variables, it gives it a very generic name. So we're going to select that again and call it something else like var devices. And now we're able to call this action that's really as simple as it is to use one of these actions. But as it is right now, it's not super useful because we want to build out this topic a little bit more. When someone executes this, we want to be able to ask them what type of device they're looking for. So before we call this connector action, we can click on this plus button before that, and we'll ask a question. We can type in a message here or what the question is, like what device are you looking for? And we can pull these questions either from pre-built entities or we can hard code some options. So I'll put in some options here for laptop, desktop, and smartphone. Same thing here. Anytime that we're getting information from a user or an action, it needs to store that somewhere. So it's created a variable for us to store the response, which we'll want to give a better name as well. So we'll call this var device type. And when you have a question like this, which is a multiple choice, it does go ahead and automatically create these question nodes here. So if you want to perform different actions based off of the option that they chose, you could have these kind of nested conditions here. But in our case, we don't need them, so let's just delete these really quick because we're just using this option to filter our connector action. Now, as I mentioned, we want to take whatever option they chose here and use that to filter the devices that it's getting from our connector action. To build out this filter, we're going to use some power effects. So before our connector action, we'll add another node here, and we'll go to variable management and choose set a variable value. And we'll create a new variable here. And I'll call this var filter. And now in the value, if we click on this arrow, you'll see that we have an option here to use a formula. And this is where we can put in some PowerFX code, which is the low-code formula language that's based off of Microsoft Excel. So I can put in a simple concatenate function that takes this filter where I want to filter where the status equals available, and the asset type equals whatever option they chose in the question above. So we can reference that variable by just putting in topic dot in the variable name. And it gives us this indicator here, you'll notice, for the output, letting us know that this is a valid PowerFX formula. Now we can select Insert, and we have our filter formula. So all that's left is to use this in our connector action. So if we expand out the advanced inputs, we can go to this filter query and bind it to that filter. Now the last step here is we just need to return the list of devices back to our user. So we'll click on the Add a Node option below our connector action, and we'll choose Send a Message. Now this is where we talked about we can customize the output of our messages. So I could just put in some static hard-coded information here, or I could use an adaptive card. So if I want a better looking output, I can go to Add and choose this adaptive card option. And I've already created an adaptive card that I want to use, so I can switch this to a formula, which is the format that I have, and I can replace what's in here with my adaptive card. And similar to what we saw when we created that variable and used PowerFX, it shows us this output option here with the green check mark, letting us know that this is valid adaptive card code. So now that's the message that we want, and we are good to go, so we can save this custom topic. And it has a built-in topic checker anytime you're building anything, letting you know if there are any errors. So if there is something wrong with what you built out, it'll pop up a warning or an error message here so you can figure out what's wrong and fix it and resolve it. We also have easy tabs up here to see all of the variables that we're using, any comments that we have, and we can use Copilot within a topic itself to add certain actions. And earlier we talked about how we have this nice authoring canvas where we can drag and drop elements, but we can also see the underlying code. So within this topic, if we click this More button, we can open the code editor and see the YAML behind the scenes so that we can make changes this way or copy and paste this and share this with others. But now we can test out this topic. So we'll click the test button in the upper right hand corner, and I'll just ask what devices are there. Now it's going to ask that question that we filled in. So what type of device are you looking for? And because it is multiple choice, it gives us these clickable buttons that we can choose. So I'll choose a laptop. And here is that nice adaptive card that we have in our message. So it's pulling in the picture from the SharePoint list, the item name, the maker, and the color. And all these options are clickable. So I can click on this Surface laptop and it will take me directly to that item in the SharePoint list for more information. And just like that, we've built and extended a Copilot that can chat over our data and utilized a custom topic and connector action to get formatted data from a SharePoint list with adaptive cards. Extensibility isn't just about extending the
Yeah. Now, so in the demo, now let's see the extensibility part. So let me go back to the presentation. I'll stop sharing the screen. So I will share the screen. Yeah, I'm sharing the screen now. So yeah, now like we'll take some time and we can see like how we can extend them. Actually, the Copilot is not an walled garden. It's built for the enterprise extensibility. So what I'm trying to say here is like you can integrate the Copilot Studio with the Azure OpenAI, and you can use the APIs. Also, you can use the plugins. You can use the flows, and you can extend it. You can bring in the data from your own CRM, and you can bring in the data from your ERP, HR system, and you can customize everything from the prompt logic to the telemetry. So this makes it a true enterprise grade platform, not just a chatbot builder. So far we have talked a lot about like using the Copilot Studio for building the agent, but it also we used to customize the Microsoft 365 Copilot itself. So this gives us an end-to-end AI tool chain that meets you where you are with the right tool for the job. See, the Copilot is included in the Microsoft 365 Copilot at an no additional cost to extend the capabilities using the low-code approach. With the Copilot Studio, you can easily connect to the Microsoft 365 Connect Copilot to the other data center using either pre-built or the custom plugins and also the GPTs. You can create and orchestrate sophisticated logic, and Copilot Studio includes management capabilities, allowing your IT to stay in control. When you are looking to customize, tailor, or extend the Microsoft Copilot, you can also use the Azure AI Foundry for more sophisticated scenarios. That is also like one of the options which is available. There are multiple ways you can extend the Microsoft 365 with the Copilot Studio. The first and foremost thing is the prompt plugins, which are part of like AI Builder to generate the content with AI, like summarizing the long block of text and extracting the task. Next, we do have the conversational plugins. It enables you to build a topic and call them via Microsoft 365 Copilot to do things like getting the data from the external systems like SAP and other backend system via an action. Next, we do have the connector plugin that provides a way to connect directly with the API in Microsoft Copilot. For example, like natively connecting to the service owner connector to list all the incidents which are there in the service now. And next, the last but not least, which is the Power Automate plugins, it enables you to call the automation to do the things like creating the approvals. So all those things are possible. This unlocks the ability to bring the enterprise logic into productivity tools like Word, Excel, Teams, Outlook, all those areas you can bring in all those capabilities. When we first started talking about the Copilot Studio, we mentioned how it is part of the Power Platform, which gives us a suite of tools that work together for an enterprise app dev. This benefit of this platform is that all of these tools work together seamlessly, and it's no exception with Copilot Studio as well. The agents that you build can be easily embedded in the Power Pages and Power Apps to provide the agent powered experiences for your end users. Okay, now the Copilot on the Azure equal to better together. So what this is trying to say is like Copilot and the Azure, it always go hand in hand. Through Azure, you can run custom AI models via Azure AI Studio. Also, you can trigger the advanced workflows. Also, you can enable the AI powered research over your data. Also, you can extend the telemetry with the app insights. Also, you can integrate the bot framework skills and the capabilities. Also, you can manage your ALM process with the Azure DevOps. So, this is what the Microsoft AS ecosystem uniquely powerful, and Copilot is not silo and it's also platform. So, you can do anything and everything with the help of the Copilot, and you can extend it as well. And speaking of analytics and the data telemetry, we cannot talk about like building and extending the agents without touching on how we analyze this data through these agents, right? So Copilot Studios, the built-in conversational analytics dashboard, offers a simple, clear view of how this agent is performing. You will be able to see like which topics are having the greatest impact on escalation, abandon, and the resolution day rates. The most common question your user asking about your with your agent, also like the detailed the CSAT data, the customer satisfaction data, the session transcripts, the content moderation insights, and many more, like instances where your agent did not successfully return an answer. So all those things you should be able to like get an insights out of this the Copilot, the telemetry which is already available. And if that is not enough, using the out of box features in Azure Application Insights, you can see how user move between the topics and much more. You can log the telemetry with the Azure Application Insights, and so you can analyze and how your agents are being used and how they are performing. Yeah, so with this we have come to the end of the session. Like throughout the session, like we have seen like with the basic bot, we have built the basic bot, and we saw like how you can ask the questions and how the bot is answering to you. And also like we can see like how you can build your logic, how you can like customize your the chat UI, and how you can hook the actions and perform some actions in the chatbot. And also like we saw like some of the options how to extend the chatbots, like with the custom connector, with the Power Automate, and with the plugins. And also like we saw like the dashboard which is there out of box in the Copilot. So with this, like the Copilot can do like lots and lots of stuffs. So try using it. I will share all the links in the chat window. So as part of attending the session, like here is the surprise for you guys. So by attending this one, like you are achieving a new AI learning milestone. So you can scan the QR code, whichever it is here. So the Microsoft is giving this acknowledgement to celebrate your achievement. Make sure to confirm your participation. So you can download this the Guinness World Records, this title attempt badge. So you just scan this QR code. So you should be able to like get this badge, and you can share your success in your LinkedIn the social handle, whatever the social handle you have, please try to use the hashtag like AI Skill Fest. Yeah, with this, we'll move to the question and answers. Like if you have any questions, then we can go through the questions and then we can wind up the session.
Thank you, guys. That was a really good session. We have a couple questions in the chat. We are a little short on time, so we won't be able to go through all of them. But the first one is from Mikey, and Mikey is asking if you guys could please clarify what makes this agent different from just using the standard Copilot chatbot.
Standard Copilot chat. This is the standard Copilot chatbot. Like whatever so far we have seen as the standard Copilot chatbot. Like we have seen like how we can extend this, Mikey.
We have another question, and this is how can I use Copilot UI with the agent or Copilot Studio as end user interface?
Copilot UI with the agent or Copilot Studio as the end user interface. So this is what, as I mentioned earlier, like you can have your chatbot and you can publish it, and you can leverage this chatbot in a multiple channels. So you can go ahead and use the whatever the UI you are building with your Copilot Studio. So you can publish it and you can hook this chat in wherever the channels you want, the Microsoft Teams, Outlook. If your company is having the internal site or the external site, the wherever you want, you can hook this the chat, the Copilot Studio, like the agent, whatever you are building it, and you can leverage it.
Great, thank you. I will now be wrapping up the session since we are short on time, but thank you guys for the fantastic session as always. If anyone that joined today happened to miss any part of the session, this will be available on the Reactor YouTube channel in 24 to 48 hours. And as you can see on the screen, we do have a survey. So if you could just go on aka.ms attendee survey, season of AI, or scan the QR code that is available right here and provide your feedback. That would be very meaningful for all of us. And there's more QR codes. So aka.ms Copilot Studio gets started, and the tutorials that you can also watch by scanning the QR codes.
Yeah, all good. Thanks everyone for joining once again. And thanks Isabel for providing us this wonderful opportunity. And thanks Microsoft for providing this wonderful venue like the Microsoft Reactor for hosting this.
Of course, anytime. Thank you guys, and thank you for anyone that joined from home. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye.
Bye.